うん、俺はもう準備万端だ。
はい。
僕が計算した弾道から逃げられる者などいません。それは隠れて
うん、俺はもう準備万端だ。
僕が計算した弾道から逃げられる者などいません。諦めた方が賢明です。諦めた方が賢明です。
最悪は純粋な本能救いに返す。
逃げられる者などいません。今回も完璧な車線でした。
I've been playing since launch date. Playing since launch date.
僕が計算した弾道から逃げられる者などいません。今回も完璧な車線でした。 僕が計算した弾道から逃げられる者などいません。それは隠れているつもりですか？今回も完璧な車線でした。僕が計算した弾道から逃げられる者などいません。僕が計算した
私に任せてください。最悪はもうできるようになりました。
ごめん。
元気いきたい。これがナナミの最強の切り札だよ。
僕が計算した弾道から逃げられる者などいません。今回も完璧な車線でした。
はい。
僕が計算諦め今回も完璧な車線でした。諦めた方が賢明です。諦めた方が賢明です。
最悪はもうできるようになりました。どうか安らかに苦痛という牢獄は解かれたのです。
それは隠れている。
最悪は全て光明の中へ消え去なさい。何が全部塞ぎきれない元気いきたい。これがナナミの最強の切り札だよ。指揮官、ナナミとパワーちゃんって超すごいでしょ。
僕が計算した諦め
最悪は純粋な骨に
ご命令。
はーい。
なたたちの結末はただ一つです。
最悪は全て私と共に耐えられます。指揮官、ナナミとパワーちゃんって超すごいでしょ。
僕が計算した弾道から逃げられる者などいません。僕が計算した弾道から逃げられる者などいません。僕が計算した弾道から逃げられる者などいません。僕が計算した弾道から逃げられる者などいません。諦めた方が賢明です。あなたたちの結末は
最悪は私と共純粋なものに
ご命令です。僕が計算した弾道から逃げられる者などいません。それは隠れているつもりだ。
私に任せてください。
あなたたちの結末は
最悪は純粋なものに救えば。
ご命令です。
いくよ。何が全部学びきれない方法を近畿一体。これがナナミの最強の切り札だよ。ナナミに
ご命令です。あなたたちの結末は
最悪は全て私と共に虚空に返します。
ご命令です。
苦難はここで燃やし尽くします。いくよ。希望が肝心から生まれ変わります。元気一体。これがナナミの最強の切り札だよ。
僕が計算した弾道から逃げられる者などいません。あなたたちの結末は
最悪は私と共に虚空に返します。何が全部何にできれない方法はないよ。
ご命令です。
これがナナミの最強の切り札だよ。
僕が計算した弾道から逃げられる者などいません。今回も完璧な車線でした。
世界。面白い冒険がしたいなら覗いてみるといい。
お前らの腕じゃ俺に勝てねえよい。何してやがる。俺がやってやる。なんで俺が負けるんだ。なんで俺が負けるんだ。負けるわけにはいかねえ。俺のためにもな。白ひげの名を傷つけるわけにはいかねえよい。なら何でもできそうだ。死にたくなければ下がってろい。そうだ、反逆者は全部処分しろ。この程度の戦闘で負けてちゃ白ひげのマークが泣いちまうよい。泣くなよい。
So I thought I lost my save file for this, but it was actually still on my computer. This game does not have cloud saves, so before you invest a lot of time into it, it's not like the game costs any money. it's like on sale for $5 like right now, I'm sure. You want to make sure you back up your save, because if you ever upgrade your computer or format your hard drive, you'll lose the save. So luckily, thank the stars, I still had my, I had another one on here that wasn't the right one. But this is the one I actually played like 50 hours on, so I'm very happy I took the initiative and I looked, because I noticed something wasn't right. I noticed I didn't have all the characters, and she's like the easiest character to break the game with. So I gotta put this on the Steam Deck. I actually started playing through that other file earlier today. I spent like half an hour. It was kind of a waste of time. I didn't know I still had the save on here. But I'm gonna have to like put this on like my Google Drive or like email it to myself or something, because yeah, I almost lost it for good. I probably could just cheat it, most of it back, but I kinda wanted to play again, so sometimes things just work out.
闇の闇の正義の名のもとに。
さて用意はいいな。戦闘開始だ。
おめえらには負けねえよ。
俺と喧嘩してるやつは前に出ろ。相手になってる。
俺が負けるんだ。
油断したつもりもないんだが。
引き続き正義を遂行する。いい戦果を期待してもいいかな。
You're asking somebody that doesn't watch or read One Piece at all who that guy is. The red guy with one arm. That's who Shanks is. You're not gonna get a detailed response from me. I just play this because it's a good Musou game. I have no attachment or knowledge about the source material at all. What's up, man? I can tell you, what little I know is that his fighting style in this game is made up. because at the time that this game was made, he didn't actually fight either the manga or the anime, so they just kind of made it up. Which a lot of people seem to like. Yeah, I don't care about One Piece as a franchise. I just like the games. As far as I take it. Maybe if it wasn't like 8 billion episodes long, it's still not over, I would care. How was Atlas Fallen? That game actually looks like something I would like, but I'll probably wait until it's like $20. I'm sure they'll like patch it up and stuff. They're saying One Piece is supposed to end in like 4 to 6 years. I'll believe it when I see it. We'll still be going. Never-ending story. What's his other limit break? Shanks is, this guy. The redhead with one arm. Yeah, that guy right there in the corner. He has one arm and they just, he uses bullshit no jutsu for his fighting style, because I guess you He wanted to make him playable, but the author had not shown him fighting yet, so he kind of just ass-pulled it. But it seems like the people that actually watched the show actually liked it, so I guess they did something right. I don't know much about it. It must be like really hard to make those games because it's been going on. The series has been going for like how many years now? Like 25 or something. It's like those games make so much more money than any of the other One Piece games. The Musou games I think are actually like the best selling ones, but just because of how Musou works, it's like really hard to like actually make a different game. I guess that's why for the one after that is getting more stuff still. Source material has not progressed to the point where they can actually make like a whole ass Musou game. It's just a lot of people aren't happy because the game already didn't really have much content. Did I see the trailer for the next East game? Yes, I did. I will probably get that, but not until it's on PC. Yeah, that game, it's not going to be out. It's that the localization for that is not even announced yet, so I've got that one on the list. I'm not going to be importing it though. I don't think it's going to have English. I don't know if anyone will bother to uncap the frame rate. Let me look it up right now actually before I start. Is there an Asian English Switch version? Maybe I could like unlock the frame rate, but I don't think the Asian version has English. There's like a little bit too much reading involved for me to import that. I'm sure the Switch version is garbage as well. I don't even have to see it to know it's going to be bad. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything about an Asian English version. Looks like it's going to get traditional Chinese and Korean. Best thing it could happen is if it had English, I would buy the game and just rip my copy on Switch and uncap the frame rate. But somebody would have to actually make the code, so I think it would not be good to do that. It's a very expensive investment. I'd rather just wait until it's on PC. I don't care if I lose viewership for that. Playing a whole ass JRPG in Japanese is a little bit above my language skills. I can read like basic stuff, but I can't read like entire sentences that people are saying and stuff. That'd be a lot of frustration for nothing. I was kind of hoping that they would have like an Asian English version, because sometimes that happens where the Asian version, since, you know, English is becoming more popular over in especially in Southeast Asia. A lot of the Southeast Asian versions do have English text, but I guess they're not doing that for this game. So I don't want to pay like $70 for a crap Switch version, and then beg somebody to make a frame rate patch for it, and then have it in Japanese as well. It's too many hurdles. But yeah, the game looks pretty solid. I think I'll like it more than 8 and 9. The combat looks a lot better. I think it's cool that they're doing away with the party system, because I think the party system has really held back East for a while. They have too many characters, they don't do anything in the story, and most of the time Adol is always better than them. They never really got the party system to like the level it is in like the Tales games, where like there's still a lot of prejudice towards the main character in Tales games, but the other characters are at least fun to play in some of the better designed games at least. But it always felt like in the East games, that the other party members, you just use them for like a different element. They never really played that much differently. So I think it's cool that they're focusing on like 2 characters, and they have that new like dual mode and combination mode mechanic, which actually looks pretty interesting. You'll actually have like more moves than usual. We'll see though. I'm not going to be the guinea pig on that. I'm not seeing anything indicating that there's going to be an English version. They haven't even announced a localization for it yet. Yeah, it's like a month away. Plus, Nisa will give me a key for the game anyway. I ask for keys from them so sparingly because they don't make that many games I like. I kind of just ask them and they just give me a key, so I think I'd rather just wait for that. I don't care if it takes a year. I get the PC version and then I can play it on Steam Deck and it'll be in English. And hopefully it'll be like the East 9 port and not like the East 8 port that like barely worked for months. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. Let's go ahead and pick another game here. Yeah, East games take like a good year to get localized, so it's pretty much... And then the PC version doesn't come until it's out in English either, so it's like, even if you can read the language, it's going to be in, I think, simplified Chinese, Korean, and Japanese. Even if you can read those languages, unless you have a PS5, the game's going to drop frames a lot, so it's like, whether you can read the language or not doesn't really have a lot of bearing on things, actually. Just because they don't do the PC port until it's out over here. That's how it's always been. Japan PC market is so bad that they basically just make that port for the rest of the world. I think the East games actually do pretty well on PC from what I've seen, but yeah, really long turnover. They don't do worldwide. Well, I think
Teenage Mutant Ninja Blast
I think East 8 really changed things, because East 8 had a lot of problems. The first was the localization was pretty bad. There was a lot of stuff that felt like it was machine translated, and then also the PC port was prone to crashing for a good, like, I don't know how long it was. I didn't buy it until it was fixed, but the PC port was really bad. Like, you couldn't even get out of the tutorial and you couldn't actually get onto the island without the game crashing. So, and the interesting thing about that is it was the only East game, because they have like almost every East game is on Steam now. So like the preservation is better than a lot of other JRPG franchises. But it had like a mixed or negative. It was the only East game that had negative reviews, or the overall rating of it was negative because the port was so bad. Like, I can see why they want to take their time now. They want to actually give it a good localization and then have a good port as well, because their track record's been pretty good. It's honestly easier to play like East games than it is Tales games. Pretty much East and Final Fantasy are like the two best JRPG series to get into, because like almost all of them are on Steam. They don't have like certain select games. They don't have all the spin-offs and stuff, but they do have vast majority of the ones you'd actually want to play. I don't think they want to break that quality standard. Yeah, East 8 was a mess. East 8 had a lot of things going wrong with it.
This is April O'Neil, reporting live.
A lot of it comes from the fact that it was originally a Vita game.
Job-breaking news.
I definitely think East 9 is a lot less of a pain to play because there's a lot less loading zones. East 8 has a lot of loading zones and invisible walls and stuff. So you never hear anybody talk about it. It's a good game, but definitely one of those games that would have been better if it was made for PS4, like, natively. I don't know, if it runs an emulator and somebody uncaps the frame rate, or at least makes it run at 60, I might try to get it, but I'm leaning towards no. I have played JRPGs in complete Japanese before, I've done it multiple times, but I'm less likely to do it when the only way I could play the game would be switch on emulator and beg somebody to make a frame rate code. Because that's out of my control. I can't control what somebody else does or wants to do. I'm sure the Switch port is going to be awful. The Switch port for East 8 is decent. It's definitely better than the Vita version, but it's also still, like, objectively the worst way to play the game, so they seem to be really expanding the scope of the last couple East games anyway, so I don't know. A little bit too many things have to go right. I heard the East 9 port is, like, abysmal on the Switch. It's, like, really bad. Part of the problem is their engine is, like, dates back to, like, the PS2 era. It doesn't, like, scale very well or something like that. That's what I'm hearing anyway. Yeah, I don't think that's worth my hard-earned money. They definitely did fix. They fixed East 8 though. They fixed the localization and then they fixed the PC port. So now it's like it's fine. But when it came out, it was a pretty rare blemish with buying an East game on PC. It was completely unstable. I remember when it came out, I watched somebody. He literally could not get off the boat because every time he crashed the boat and got on the island, the game would crash, and you can't save before then. So it took him like what, like a couple hours to get off the boat. The game was crashing that badly. Definitely a weeb trash version of Batman Arkham Knight, like just barely functional. They pretty much have wiped that from history though. It's the best version now. There's actually some mods for it as well. I don't know if a lot of people remember how bad that port was. One of those things, it's like you clearly did not care to release a functional product, and the consumer had to suffer for it. It was well beyond normal PC port nitpicking, like, you know, you can't uncap the frame rate or it doesn't load fast enough. It's like, no, it crashed constantly. You couldn't even get out of the tutorial zone. Pretty much weeb Arkham Knight, I would say. Like, full-priced game that barely worked, regardless of how good or bad your computer was. Basically non-functional. Gotta give it to Tales of Arise. That game sucks, but the port was very good. They didn't make a good game, but they made a good PC port. And I honestly feel that's a big part of why that game sold so well. Especially around the time that it came out too, like the FF7 remake was out around that time, and like barely anybody could play that. They never fixed it. Like Tales of Arise is right there, it's cheaper. Doesn't look much worse than FF7 remake. And the port like actually functions as intended. Meaning if you have the recommended specs, the game just turns on and works. That game doesn't get enough credit for having a good PC port at launch. Rarity these days. Probably announce a localization for East 9 in a few months. Probably be like, I don't know, maybe like spring next year or something. Yeah, those games are kind of bunk to import, even if you understand the language. Like, even if you speak a language besides English. Like one of the languages that they have in the game, like they're gonna have Chinese and Korean. It doesn't matter if you speak those languages. The PC port's still gonna be better. Yeah. Better to wait for your native tongue and then have a actual good PC port. The stream of that guy trying to get off the boat was so funny. He was basically like speedrunning the game because there was such a high chance of it crashing. Every time you got to the cutscene where you got onto the island and the ship gets wrecked, it's like 80% chance of it crashing. Just, modern gaming in a nutshell. How do you not have the port functional enough that somebody can get out of the tutorial and save the game? This is sad, man. Well beyond the realm of nitpicking.
Say your prayers!
Breaking news.
My horns!
What a scoop!
Yeah, East 10 looks like an improvement. Looks like an improvement for sure.
Broadway.
But it's also like really large in scope compared to 8 and 9. I guess because it's not a handheld game anymore. That Switch port's probably going to be real bad. I don't have a lot of faith. Especially since I don't pirate Switch games. I'm not paying $80 for that. This probably is going to be like $80, isn't it? I probably had to get it from like the Hong Kong eShop or something. I mean, most games don't really do worldwide releases. It's still a relative rarity. And Pokemon does it, but I think Pokemon mostly does it because of the online. Like, now that they have region free and everything, that I think they mostly do region locked for like Pokemon generations and stuff because they can. I guess they don't want people to have like busted Pokemon and then release the game somewhere else 6 months later. Uh, for larger games, at least, worldwide is pretty rare. For like smaller stuff, almost everything is worldwide now. Tales of Arise was worldwide, which was pretty rare. It's like the first time, I think the first time they've done that for Tales. It obviously worked really well for them. The fact that they had it available everywhere and it was on PC, and then the port wasn't garbage too, also helped. Ah, I can't load the game. It's not working. I How do I get rid of that damn mod? Fuck. Let me just get rid of everything that's in here. Ah, I see why, because that's in there. I'm trying to try the double dragon patch, but that mod is real bitch to uninstall, I guess. Let's see if I fresh install it again, it'll work. Come on, why is it... I don't have the fucking mod installed. The game is fresh. Okay, just get rid of it. There's nothing in there now. Let me play. Alright, there we go. Friends don't let friends install mods. Took a while. Guess it was like one file was in there and it just caused the whole game to not work. Luckily my save wasn't in there. Alright, I guess it just freezes. It was doing this on the stream earlier. Oh wait, is it going? Video game? Alright.
Double Dragon Gaiden! Rise of the Dragon! Character select! Mission select!
Alright, how are the bosses? They still walk out of everything? Probably. Yep, that hasn't changed. It's a shame this game has so many gimmicks. It makes it get old fast. It's unfortunate. Like, made like so much content in this, like more than pretty much any other Double Dragon game, but it kind of took the worst part from the previous game, which was having like more level gimmicks and longer levels and stuff, and harder levels the farther you go. The problem is that a lot of the gimmicks are really annoying. And they're not bad. It's just, you know, you're supposed to play through the game like dozens of times, and it gets old fast. Their previous game was exactly like that. Because I played that game for a while. I did most of the stuff in it, and I definitely found myself doing the same thing I do in that game, which is just do the least obnoxious route over and over and over. So it kind of feels a little hollow, because it's like you don't really interact with the routes that much unless you just have the patience of a saint. But I feel like making the levels longer isn't the problem. It's the gimmicks that really get unfun. But they kind of just built that game off the foundation they had from their previous game, and it definitely has the exact same weakness. The upgrades are like way more interesting. The combo system is better. It's overall an improvement, but yeah, it's really hard to do gimmicks in action games, especially like roguelikes and stuff. It makes the game journals happy because all they care about is variety. They don't care about actually playing the game at a high level or anything because they don't have time to. But it's a weakness for sure. I don't envy having to make those kinds of decisions because beat 'em ups already have a really hard time getting an actual objective review. People just, a lot of the journalists just hate it. So I guess like you have to have the gimmicks and stuff, but for people that actually play the game more than once, that stuff gets in the way. It was the problem with Bayonetta 3 as well. You know, that game had like such insane spectacle and stuff, even above like the previous two games. But when you play the game more than once, you know, the excitement's gone. You just want to get back to the normal game. That's a shame, but if you do have, Turtles keeps that stuff to a minimum, and Ninja Warriors just came out. Dawn of the Monsters as well. Worst it gets in Dawn of the Monsters is those nest fights, where, the ads keep respawning. It's like kind of like not fun, but that game keeps it to a minimum as well. I think they did an amazing job with the arcade mode. It's like, yeah, we're just gonna give you a no-frills actual mode that would pass for like an arcade game. Like they could put that in a cheap arcade cabinet and distribute it to like places around the world, and like people would play it. I think it would actually do pretty good. That was the sleeper hit of this month, was the Dawn of the Monsters DLC. I mean, they even went above and beyond. They added like score extends and no miss rewards and stuff. I'm like, wow, this is pretty nuts for a Canadian developer that's never made a beat 'em up before. Like, very high quality. Anyway, I think I'm gonna go ahead and sign off for tonight, folks. I just realized I gotta put some water in the fridge, and I gotta do some stuff before I go to bed. So I'm gonna go ahead and hop off. For streams later, I should be at my neighbor's house most likely. So we'll We'll probably do another stream over there. It's usual beat 'em up roulette. And then maybe some Muso when I get home. I'll catch you guys later. Good night.